All right, so today I'm going to talk a little bit about IMS and a little bit about the World Manufacturing Forum. I have a lot of slides to go through here, and so I think maybe it would be helpful to me if I knew how many of you really were familiar with IMS, so I know how fast to read through some of these slides. Quite a few of you, so I think I'm just going to give a real brief overview because I really want to concentrate more on a couple of other areas of cooperation that IMS is interested in, and also the World Manufacturing Forum. So IMS is an industry-led R&D program. We're government supported. We were created to create an international network so that manufacturers, industry, research institutions could collaborate on a multilateral basis. As far as I know, this is still the only program of its kind in existence in the world. There's bilateral agreements, but there's no multilateral agreements working in this area other than IMS. So we've been running now for over 17 years. We've done over $600 million in research, so we've done quite a bit. Means we have quite a bit of experience in forming these international collaborations. And if any of you have done international collaborations, you know they're not always easy to put together. So we have put together this platform and these services to support you, to help you put these consortiums together. So I just threw some names up here just to give you an idea of some of our partners. We've had over 1,200 researchers involved with IMS projects. We've had a number of researchers come back to us with multiple projects, such as Demetrius, my friend Demetrius there. So again, Tom Maservi is your node here for the European Union. Of course, there's all these other actors in the background that Ralph showed you earlier. And what Tom is going to help you do is help you form your project, build your consortium, to broker your project through our network using the other coaches, and also maybe plug you into some existing projects. So I just threw this slide up here because I'm in Switzerland, and we had some good success here in Switzerland. Currently, the Swiss are involved in about 15 IMS projects in various stages. Some are running, and some are in the process of formation. One of the projects was about sheet metal forming, and a couple of professors from TU Zurich was involved with this, and they formed the company Autoform sort of as a result of this this research project. I think they now have something like 180 people working there, so it's a big benefit to Switzerland. A couple other projects, Harmony, Symphony, you might know about these projects as well for business innovation. So, and we've been involved with standards, sustainable projects, that sort of thing. We have projects coming to us from the bottom up from industry and from top down. I think Ralph was really talking mostly about the top down projects that come from government, from framework projects. But in other parts of the world, it's sort of flipped, especially on the US side. The projects tend more to come to us from industry. We have several kinds of ways of putting projects together. We can link projects together. If we see a few projects, maybe in different parts of the world, that have a common work package, we can link those projects together just on that one work package, save you some money. We can also build a project from ground up. We have very streamlined requirements for an IMS project. It's really very simple. You can see here we we're a multilateral program, so we like to have 3 regions involved. We want it to be significant. We don't want anything small coming to us. We just don't want to use our resources on very small things. So we're looking at $1 million US or more 2-year project or longer. And that 1 million can also include your man hours and this sort of thing. We just need a simple 2-page submission. It's a summary of what your project is about. And a simple 1-page MOA that just says the partners are going to work together on this project. So it's really fast and simple to bring a project to IMS. And again, Thomas Survey is even there to help you do this simple application. So again, we're looking for something significant in the area of manufacturing. So we're not a funding source, but our coaches are there to help you find funds. We have a lot of framework projects that are coming that are already funded. The way that the framework projects are worded for IMS is that the project is suitable for international collaboration, and they recommend IMS as a source. So when you see that written, this is who we are. But a lot of our projects are also industry funded. They're self-funded. So, and we can find ways to find funding from industry and associations as well. Like for instance, the project that Rolf showed earlier, Simple Tools Sell Steel, is receiving some funds from the steel industry. And they have a marketing reason for doing that, because concrete is winning in building structures, and it's because they have much simpler algorithms for the engineers to predict the behavior of concrete. So they want to work in this area with steel to help architects design steel buildings. So some of the other services, we have project workshops, and at these workshops we present updates on projects, also new projects. We also try to identify areas where we can build consortiums, and we come up with a plan how to broker each project. So at these workshops, they're generally associated with our steering committee meetings so that we have all of the IMS actors involved, and then we invite in the researchers as well. And then we have our various marketing outlets, publications, our website, Twitter, LinkedIn. Maybe some of you have joined our LinkedIn site. So I just throw this up as an example of a workshop that we held down in Mexico. It was a very good workshop, and I just throw this up to show you that we did generate a spreadsheet of all the people who are interested in workshops, and then we work from this spreadsheet and follow up with people. So it's not just one of these static things where you go and present something and nothing happens. So I'd like to present some IMS project priorities, but I also, because we've heard a lot about the EU view on R&D, so Tom Kerfus, who recently just left Obama's Office for Scientific Policy, he sits on our board, and he gave a presentation at our workshop down in South Carolina a few weeks ago. And so I just wanted to lift a couple of slides from his presentation to give you an idea of one area that the U.S. is working on. And of course, well, let's go. There we go. Okay, so this comes from the top, and I think Obama may have overstated it a little bit, that he's equating this to the space race, but you can see that there's a really large commitment in the U.S. now for manufacturing. Like, I think in Europe, manufacturing that we heard yesterday was sort of pushed aside, and now all of a sudden it's real they realize it's a very important strategic pillar to the economy. So one of the things that he announced just in 2012 was this proposal for the National Network for Manufacturing Innovation. And Tom Purvis had a lot of input in this area, and again, because he's working with IMS and he sees things on a global basis, he saw one of the very good things that Europe is doing, and that's your institutes like Fraunhofer, like VTT. US really didn't have anything like this. So now the US is in the process of building this national network, and they've put $1 billion towards this, and this is starting out as a public-private partnership, and it will eventually not receive any public funding at all. It'll be totally private. So their first area that they decided to focus on was additive manufacturing. So this was the pilot institute, and it was a huge success. And this is one of the reasons why additive manufacturing is a very hot topic in the U.S. right now. And you'll see the sales growth of personal 3D printers. I don't know if this is happening in Europe or not, but people are buying these and putting these in their homes now. I don't know what they're doing with them, but it just shows that there's a very strong national interest in this area. So this was the first one that was brought up. So again, what they're trying with these NNMIs are to get the technology to SMEs. SMEs are very much regarded as important to innovation in the U.S., and a lot of our economy comes from SMEs. So there is this SME focus with these NNMIs, and so they're hoping to not only share best practices, but they're also going to be funding research projects. And the first call for additive manufacturing went out about 2 months ago. Now, I did speak to the managing director of the additive manufacturing NNMI, and they are interested in some international collaboration. Because it's so new, their first calls are really more focused on domestic, but they see a very ripe area for collaboration in international standards. So we'll be working with them in the future to try to put some international projects together on standards for additive manufacturing. And then other areas that they want to be working on are robotics, materials, and big data. These are the next ones that are coming up. So part of their objectives are not just to build these centers, but they really want to build up the reputation of manufacturing in the U.S. And I think that the same is also true in Europe, that manufacturing has been seen in the past where you're attaching a widget. There are people all standing in a row, and they're attaching widgets, and it's dirty and so on. And people in the U.S., parents today don't really understand that manufacturing is something really quite different, and that really it's high tech now, and they need people who are properly trained. So they're really trying to start at the elementary, middle school, high school levels to really get kids excited about manufacturing. They're starting coursework in this area. There are some schools now in the U.S. that are offering some kind of degree when they graduate from their high school, so that they can go and work in a manufacturing plant, say like in CNC, this kind of thing. So it's really, they're trying to look at an entire system approach from education on up. So, and again, I mentioned about SMEs and also university involvement. So now I want to share with you quickly some IMS perspectives of areas where we cooperate. The drivers for us, for what I'm going to show you right now, it's not exclusive, but these are just some areas that we think are interesting and that we see as low-hanging fruit for cooperation. And so these drivers are based on what we see happening in the US, what we see happening in the EU, and also we have a couple of new members that we're hoping are coming into IMS and some interest that they've expressed to us. So this is in the areas that you see here. So under the sustainable supply chains, there's an understanding that supply chains have a big impact on sustainability, and so there needs to be more work done throughout the entire supply chain. So we have these organizations in the US that are working in this area, and then we've identified in Europe some of this interest working in this area. So we're thinking that somehow, maybe through a workshop or something, we can put these entities together to work in some projects in this area. Another area is in nano health and safety and metrology. And so here in the US is some organizations that are interested in this area. And as a matter of fact, we have one project that's already starting up in nanometrology. And then here on the European side, here's some areas that we think that we can get involved in this area. And again, additive manufacturing, as I mentioned, was a hot topic. So I mentioned here that one of these regions that's interested in joining IMS is Australia, and this is a big priority for them. So we would like to try to tap in a little bit more in this area in international cooperation and additive. So, and then this is just another project that I threw up, Automation Federation. This is an international federation. It's based in the US. They have 50,000 members, and they came to us about putting together a project for a competency model for automation. So if you have any interest in this, please talk to Tom. He just asked me to throw this one up. So that is the portion on IMS. And now I'd just like to tell you something about the World Manufacturing Forum. This was, as Ralph mentioned earlier, something that the EU helped us get started a couple years ago. It's been a huge success. Much larger and much quicker than even we expected or had hoped. What we're trying to do here is pattern something like after the World Economic Forum that's held in Davos every year. We saw that there really wasn't something like this specifically for manufacturing. So we wanted to elevate manufacturing to that level. We also wanted to discuss what do we see as a disconnect, where governments tend to be nationally focused, but industry today, from SMEs on up, are global in nature. And so how does a global institution work within a policy framework that's national? So these are some of the areas that we try to focus on. So our event last year was held in Stuttgart. We had over 400 registered for this event, and we brought some very high-level people in to talk about smart policies for global manufacturing. These were some of the speakers that we had. President Barroso did not come personally, but he sent a video address to the forum, which we were very pleased to have. And you see we had the then President Fraunhofer, we had Carlos Costa, who was former president of the European Investment Bank and now governor of the Portuguese Central Bank. You can read down through the list here. Werner Müller, he's now on the board at Bosch, and very, very nice participation here, and international from China, from Europe, from the US. So you can see some of these people, some were government, some were industry, some were from associations. We even had a speaker from the United Auto Workers from Washington, D.C. So we tried to include everyone in this discussion of manufacturing. So now this year, we're going to hold this forum in Washington, D.C. at the Ronald Reagan Center. And you can see that this is really quite a nice edifice for manufacturing. And it's right on the mall. It's right central to DC. You can see the Washington Monument behind, and up the street one way is the Capitol Building, and up the street another way is the White House. So we're really plopping this thing right down in the center of Washington, D.C. Just to give you an idea of the facilities, we will have a gala dinner in this atrium. It's a very lovely place. And we will have banners hanging from this. So we really hope to bring some visibility to the policymakers and ambassadors and so on in D.C. This is the theater where we'll be holding the keynote speeches, the plenary sessions on day 1 and 2. And now we have a number of projects that have expressed interest in holding additional meetings, so we may add a third day. We have to see about that, but we may have a day that's just committed to projects, research projects. To give you an idea, again, it's centrally located. It's accessible to the metro. One of the metro stops right there at the Ronald Reagan Center inside. So you can really stay at any hotel anywhere on a metro line in metropolitan Washington, D.C. So just to give you an idea, we do have an organizational structure, and we have an advisory board, and you can see here we have some very nice participants on our advisory board from the U.S. side, Howard Ferrari from NIST, and Dean Bartles from General Dynamics, Tom Kerfis, who is now a distinguished chair at Georgia Tech, Diane Chong, who is Vice President of Assembly at Boeing, Mike McGrath from Analytic Services, Ralph Resnick, who is running this additive manufacturing center in the U.S., Jack Harris, who is the CEO of Iowa Innovation Corporation, but that really doesn't tell everything about Jack Harris. Jack Harris is also the chair of the Peterson Group, which is a group of all of the aerospace industry in the United States. So Jack is very well known. And Bob Mansfield from Embry-Riddle University at Gouen, who is the CEO of the International Society for Automation, and Richard Jarman from NCMS. And on the international side, you saw Herbert's photo earlier. Herbert is also serving on our board for the forum. Abraham Tiarina from Italsa, Gio Song from Samsung, Javier Guerin from CCMO, Jason Myers, who is the CEO of the Canadian Manufacturers and Exporters Association. This is the largest manufacturing association in Canada. Massimo Matucci, who you saw yesterday, and Fred Hoger-Gunter, who is former Vice President of Bosch. Ernest Ruth, again, this will be his third year involved with the forum, so we're very pleased for that. And Brad Nielsen from High Rock Mining Systems from down in Australia, Joy Global. So again, it's currently planned as a 2-day event, day and a half of keynotes, a half day of breakouts, nice recognition dinner. Just to give you a brief idea, because I know I'm pressing the time here. And this is all available on the World Manufacturing Forum website, worldmanufacturingforum.org. We're going to open up with policy. We hope to hear from the direction. We hope to hear about the direction of manufacturing. We've asked Dr. Pat Gallagher, who is the director of NIST, to chair this session. He has agreed verbally, but we don't have the formal acceptance yet, so I can't write confirmed in here. But Pat's also acting as acting head of the Commerce Department right now, so we'll see how it goes. Innovation and production, we have Charlie Westner heading this up, and he's from the National Academy of Sciences, and he's confirmed. We have workforce education and human-centered manufacturing, and we have asked Norm Augustine from Lockheed Martin, so he's been invited. We don't have confirmation on that yet. We have venture capital ecosystems for manufacturing startups. This one, we're still searching for one from international source, so we've left this one intentionally open until we find the appropriate person to chair this session. Then on parallel sessions on the second day, we have Howard Gray from NIST, who you saw earlier, heading up robotics for SMEs. I think this would be a very interesting session, even though it's in a breakout, because we see this is a real challenge for SMEs. Robotics are used in large companies, but not so much in SMEs, so how do we make them more readily available and easier to use? The Industrial Commons will be headed up by Raymond Monroe from the Steel Founders Society of America, and Global Standards for Manufacturing will be headed up by Don Hemmelgarn from ITI Trends and Data. And Global IP Protection and Protectionism, we've invited Anthony Tridico, who gave a speech last year on IP, and if you were at the forum last year, you know this was a very well-attended session and really high interest, so we're hoping this is going to work out. And cybersecurity is also huge in manufacturing right now. So we have Mike McGrath from Analytic Services that's going to be heading up this one. And then finally, our last session is game-changing key technologies for manufacturing. And again, our friend Tom Kerfis will be chairing this session. And this should also be lively. So you can see we've really tried to come up with topics for this forum that are very current and very interesting. And this is an invitation-only event. I just want to let you know that if you would like an invitation, give me your card, and I'll put you on the mailing list for registration. We do have some sponsorship opportunities. They range from, we saw that atrium earlier. For our very large sponsors, we're going to hang a banner with our company logo in the atrium. But it goes all the way down to just, we have maybe 10 tables available for some smaller institutions. It's $2,500 a table, so I just put that up in case someone was interested in being a supporter of the World Manufacturing Forum. So there's the website again. We're going to open up registration around the 24th of June. We're limiting this to 400. Our mailing list is about 6,000. So we can expect this to fill up fast. We're charging a $500 fee for 2 days. That includes breakfast and lunch and the gala dinner and all the materials. And we just published this overview on the World Manufacturing Forum. I don't have it up on the website yet. As a matter of fact, it just came this week while I've been traveling here overseas. So if you want to read more about the history of the forum and what we're doing, you can do it through this annual report. Also, I have this brochure for sponsorship opportunities if you are interested. So, in conclusion, we've been around for a while. We're doing a lot of interesting things, a lot of exciting things. And on the project side, I think you've got a good flavor from Rolf and I. And on the forum side, this is something new and very exciting for us as well. We do know that collaboration is really essential in today's research environment. No one company or institution can do it alone. And so you need to have a network. And maybe you have your own established networks, but why not plug into another one, which is IMS. Doesn't cost you anything. Our services are provided by our supporting members who are the governments. So that's it. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Yes, it's a comment rather than a question. In ISO, there is a technical committee which is developing standards for additive manufacturing. But they know a lot about additive, but they don't know much about model data exchange. So they've just come up with a new graphics format for the exchange. In step and C, we're also interested in additive from the control point of view. The work is being done by Professor Askeley of Concentrale North and his team. And we're trying to introduce that as a control standard with giving people, or letting people put the CAD model directly on the machine, which we think is a rather better option. Sorry, just in case you're interested.
Yeah, if we can help, we're glad to lend a hand, floated through our network. However the community would like to interface with us, we're always glad to help.